Most Australians have no idea what their actual net worth is, and the ones who do know often calculate it the wrong way. They count the house, the super balance, maybe some savings and call it a day. But net worth isn't just about what you own, it's about what you own minus what you owe, and that difference, that gap, tells you where you actually stand financially. Today I'm breaking down exactly how to calculate your net worth properly, what the numbers really mean for your age, and the one mistake that's making thousands of Australians think they're wealthier than they actually are. Let's get into it. Here's the formula. It's dead simple. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. Your assets are everything you own that has value. Your home, your super, your savings, your car, your investments, even that dusty share portfolio you forgot about. Your liabilities are everything you owe. Your mortgage, your car loan, your credit card balance, your HECS debt, personal loans, the works. Subtract liabilities from assets and what's left is your net worth. That's the number that actually matters, not your salary, not the value of your house. Your net worth. Now here's where people often stuff this up. They look at their $800,000 home and think, I'm worth $800,000. But if you've got a $650,000 mortgage on that house, your equity is only $150,000. That's your actual stake. Most of that property value is still tied to the bank loan until the mortgage is paid down. And this is critical because equity and net worth are not the same thing. Your equity is just one part of your total net worth. It's the slice of your assets that's actually yours after you've paid off what you owe. So let's walk through a real example. Imagine you're 35, living in Brisbane, working full-time, and you think you're doing pretty well. Here's what the balance sheet might actually look like. Assets: apartment worth $650,000, superannuation sitting at $85,000, savings account with $22,000, car worth about $18,000, and $12,000 in an ETF portfolio on the ASX. Add it all up, total assets $787,000. Sounds impressive, right? But now let's look at the other side. Liabilities: mortgage of $520,000, car loan with $14,000 left, credit card balance of $3,500, and $28,000 in HECS debt. Total liabilities $565,500. So the actual net worth, $787,000 minus $565,500 equals $221,500. That's it, not $787,000, $221,500. And honestly, for a 35-year-old in Australia in 2026, that's a fairly solid position. But here's the thing most people miss. Your net worth is a snapshot, not a scoreboard. It tells you where you are today, but it doesn't tell you where you're heading. Someone with a $50,000 net worth at 28 who's saving $2,000 a month may be in a better long-term position than someone with $200,000 at 40 who's burning through savings just to keep up with repayments. Direction matters more than position. So what should your net worth actually be for your age? There's no perfect answer, but there are rough benchmarks. Based on ABS wealth data, industry surveys, and financial estimates, here's roughly where many Australians sit. At age 25, median net worth estimates are often around $30,000 to $50,000. Most of that is super and maybe a bit of savings. By 35, estimates often range from about $200,000 to $350,000, largely driven by home equity and growing super balances. At 45, many estimates place the median somewhere between $500,000 and $700,000. And by 55, median net worth estimates are often closer to $900,000 or more, with super doing most of the heavy lifting by that point. But these are medians, which means half the country is below that line. And here's what nobody talks about. Your net worth in your 20s and 30s is often supposed to be relatively low. You're usually investing in assets that grow over time: your education, your first home, your career, your super. The mistake isn't having a low net worth at 28. The mistake is having a low net worth at 28 and not building the systems that will grow it over the next 20 years. Now let's talk about the big one, the thing that completely distorts net worth calculations for many Australians: the family home. Your house is an asset, but carrying a large mortgage can distort how wealthy you really are on paper. And even if it's fully paid off, it's only worth what someone is willing to pay for it, not what you hope it's worth. Here's the trap. Property prices in Australia have been on a wild ride. In Sydney, median house prices have been sitting around or above $1.6 million in parts of 2026. Melbourne has hovered around the $1 million mark. Even Brisbane has pushed toward or above $900,000 in some datasets. So people look at their house and think, I'm a millionaire. But unless you're planning to sell, downsize, or move to a cheaper area, that equity is largely locked away. You usually can't access it easily without borrowing against the property. Meanwhile, you're still paying rates, insurance, maintenance, and interest. And here's what really stings. If property prices drop, and they do, your net worth drops with it. We saw it happen in 2022 and 2023 when rates started climbing. Property values fell 10%, 15%, even 20% in some markets. And suddenly, people who thought they were worth $1.2 million realized they were much lower on paper. The house didn't change, the market did. That's why treating your home as your primary wealth building tool carries risk. It's one asset in one location that you can't diversify easily, can't liquidate quickly, and can't fully control the value of. Compare that to a diversified share portfolio. You own hundreds of companies across dozens of industries and multiple countries. If one sector struggles, others may continue performing better over time. Your risk is spread more broadly, your liquidity is far higher, and historically diversified equity markets have compounded strongly over long periods, even though markets can still fall sharply during major downturns. I'm not saying don't buy property. I'm saying don't let property be the only thing driving your net worth. Here's another number many Australians completely ignore: superannuation. The average super balance for someone aged 30 to 34 is roughly around $60,000. By age 60 to 64, balances are often around $400,000 for men and closer to $300,000 for women, partly due to the gender pay gap and career breaks. But here's the kicker: super grows in a concessional tax environment. Earnings inside super are generally taxed at 15%, and withdrawals after age 60 are usually tax-free for most people. That makes super one of the most powerful wealth-building tools in Australia, yet many people treat it like a black hole. They never check it. They stay in the default fund. They don't salary sacrifice. They don't take advantage of carry-forward concessional contributions, and they wonder why their balance is so low at retirement. For many Australians under 40, contributing extra into super can be incredibly powerful. Not just because of employer contributions, but because of the tax savings, compound growth, and potential government co-contributions if you're eligible. A $5,000 extra contribution into super today could potentially grow to more than $30,000 by retirement, depending on age, fees, and long-term returns. That's real wealth many people overlook. Alright, so how do you actually increase your net worth? It comes down to 3 levers, and ideally you pull all 3 at once if you want real momentum. Lever 1: increase your assets. That means saving more, investing consistently, and putting your money into things that can grow over time. ETFs, super, investment property if it makes sense, dividend-paying shares, index funds. The goal is to own assets that appreciate or generate income over long periods. Lever 2: decrease your liabilities. Pay off high-interest debt first: credit cards, personal loans, car loans. Then chip away at your mortgage. Every dollar you pay down is another dollar of equity you own outright, and that equity increases your net worth directly. Lever 3: protect what you've built. That means having insurance, income protection, life cover if you've got dependents, even contents and car insurance. Because one unexpected event, a job loss, a health crisis, a car accident, can wipe out years of progress if you're not protected. Wealth isn't just about building. It's about defending what you've built so it can compound over time. Let's go back to that example for a second. If you wanted to hit a net worth of $500,000 by age 45, here's what you need to do. Keep the mortgage on track and pay it down by an extra $200 a month. That alone adds roughly $24,000 in extra repayments over 10 years, plus interest savings. Salary sacrifice an extra $5,000 a year into super. With long-term compounding, that could potentially add tens of thousands to your super balance by 45. Invest $500 a month into a diversified ETF portfolio. Over 10 years, assuming a historical long-term return of around 8% per year, that could grow to roughly $90,000. Add it all up and you'd be sitting much closer to that $500,000 plus net worth target by 45. Not from luck, not from inheritance. From consistent, deliberate decisions with the money you already earn. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your net worth at retirement will heavily reflect the financial decisions you made in your 30s and 40s. The earlier you start, the easier compounding works in your favor. The people retiring comfortably today usually aren't just the ones who earn the most. They're often the ones who saved consistently, invested early, and avoided the debt traps that swallow everyone else. If you've never calculated your net worth before, do it today. List every asset, list every liability, subtract and look at the number. Don't judge it, just understand it, because you can't improve what you don't measure. And once you know the number, you can build a plan to grow it. If this video gave you clarity, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.